Hello guys, so today I want to talk to you about 5 ways to break through a fat loss plateau. No matter who you are, you will go through a plateau at some point when trying to lose fat. It may be at the start, maybe the middle, maybe near the end. All of a sudden your results just stop. And you've probably been getting some amazing results up to that point. And the reason why you've hit a plateau is normally because of 5 reasons really. This is why I'm going to tell you what they are in this video and tell you how to combat them so you get back on track and you get back to getting fantastic results. If you're in a plateau right now, I can imagine you're severely frustrated. You're probably almost losing a bit of the will to want to train, to want to keep losing fat. You maybe feel a bit lost. Don't worry. It happens to the best of us. It happens to all of us. But I'm going to help you now. So I've got the 5 points here beside me. I'm going to go through each of them in detail and explain to you how you can fix this problem. So number 1, you are probably underreporting. What I mean by this is that when you first start your fat loss journey, the first 10 to 14 days, normally you are religiously tracking your calorie intake. You know, you're using the app MyFitnessPal. Every single thing you eat, you track. Even if it's a banana, if it's a veg, if it's an apple, you track it. Normally happens is people get a little bit lazy with this. And it normally comes in at 10 to 14 day period. They almost think they're eating what they were eating previously. So they almost kind of just copy the meals from when they were tracking. But they stop tracking and they think, right, if I eat that from previous times when I was tracking, it means my calories can be spot on. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes your meal sizes will be slightly different. So you're not weighing anymore where you were weighing your food. Now you're not weighing. You slip up because you don't track a little snack you had here and there. And all of a sudden, you're over by 200, 300, 400 calories a day. And this is why you hit a fat loss plateau. And potentially you can even gain some weight again. So first of all, if this is you, get back to tracking. Be religious, be consistent with this. One of the things I'd say with tracking is, particularly with MyFitnessPal, you can create saved meals. So in all honesty, we only really eat about 15 or 20 meals and we just rotate them. And then we get bored of one, we take it out and replace it with another one. These are our go-to meals. Save these meals in MyFitnessPal so it makes the whole process a lot quicker, a lot easier. But get back to tracking if you've fallen off that bandwagon. Number 2, you are not training enough. So if you're familiar with my work and if you are one of my clients, you'll know that we train predominantly 3 to 4 times a week. And that's weights training, that's gym training. But beyond this, that doesn't mean you stop being active. A lot of people think, well, I'm now following a training program. I've got a coach. I'll just do those 3 to 4 sessions a week and I'll do nothing else. I'm afraid it doesn't really work like that. So part of myself and my clients, non-negotiables, we aim to walk 10,000 steps a day minimum. And this is very, very easily done. It's literally an hour of walking. And you think you can combine that across your whole day that you're awake. Say, 14, 15 hours, 16 hours, depending on how long you sleep. It's very, very easy to get 10,000 steps. That's the bare minimum per day. On top of your 3 to 4 weight sessions per week, you should be enjoying some sort of sporting activity. So this could be going for a bike ride with the kids, with the other half. It could be going for a light jog. It could be maybe playing football with your friends or badminton once a week. But again, this is just part and parcel of your weekly routine. And it's just keeping you active and healthy. So if you're not currently doing an extra activity on top of your gym stuff, I would advise it. I would advise doing something that doesn't take away too much from your gym work. For example, if you're training legs on a Wednesday or you're training lower body on a Wednesday, don't go for a 20-mile run on the Tuesday. You've got to try and fit it in around your weights workouts if you can, or fit your weights workouts in around it so you don't take away from one or the other, okay? Number 3, you neglect your micronutrients. So we're all pretty familiar with calories and then we're all pretty familiar with macronutrients, which is your proteins, your carbs and your fats. We then have the next category down from them, which are micronutrients. And this is made up predominantly of vegetables and fruit. I advise every single person to be eating 300 to 500 grams of veg per day and 200 to 400 grams of fruit per day. Talking from experience when I've been coaching clients, the more you focus on upping the veg and upping the protein intake, the better your body looks, the better your performance is, and the better your productivity is. I think people neglect these small little details like veg and fruit and just think, well, I'm hitting my protein, hit my carbs. Sometimes their veg and fruit will be quite low. Honestly, when your veg and fruit intake is high, you're on another level. Honestly, you feel amazing, you perform amazing, and your body, your physique looks incredible. The thing with vegetables is even though I've said to you try to aim for 300 to 500 grams, you don't necessarily have to put a number on it, but that's like the bare minimum. You can go above and beyond that. That's perfect. And with veg, I always advise to aim for different variety of colors. The reason being is that the microbiome in your stomach is then have a good variety. So you're having things like sweet corn, yellow, you're having carrots, orange, you're having greens, you're having reds, you're having all these different colors. And again, it's be very good for your gut health. With fruit, what I say with fruit is, again, eat as much and a wide variety as you can. The only thing I say with fruit is try to stay away from the higher calorie fruits, the very, very sugary fruits. Things like, top of my head, definitely bananas, very, very, very sugary. I still have a banana, but don't overdo it. Things like the dried ones, I can't remember what they're called now, but just these sort of things, try not to have too much of. Try and have lots of berries, lots of almost like thin-skinned fruits, like apricots, peaches. These are very, very low in calories, apples. And the reason why I say this is because if you're on a fat loss journey, your calories are going to be lower than what they normally would be, because this is how we elicit fat loss. So you don't want to be wasting lots of calories on foods which are very high in calorie for how much they're going to fill you up. And this is why I say to try and stay away from the sugary carbohydrates and go more for just the low calorie fruits. Point number 4, your protein intake is too low and your carbohydrate intake is too high. So again, if you know me and you know my coaching style, I would never ever get anyone to remove carbs. I love carbs, I eat absolutely tons of them myself. But when you're trying to lose fat, your carbohydrate intake could be hindering your results and it could be causing you to be in a plateau right now. So your protein intake, your protein is the most important macronutrient there is. If you're not eating adequate protein, your body will then go to get the protein stores from the body, which is in the muscles. It means you could be losing muscle mass at the same time. Whereas your ultimate goal is always to preserve muscle mass. No matter what the goal is, preserve muscle mass. So your daily intake of protein, you should allocate 25 to 30% of your calories to protein. And good sources. We're having a variety of sources. We're having chicken, we're having red meat, we're having fish, and we're also having some plant-based proteins. Okay, so you've got good variety of intake of protein there. And of course, a protein shake. A protein shake is pretty much a superfood, the way it's made up. It's the most complete protein available to us. So I would always recommend having a protein supplement shake. I would recommend having one a day post-workout or just one a day as a snack with water. Again, don't waste calories. You don't need to have milk with it. Have it with water. They taste amazing as it is. Then on the flip side, a lot of people would neglect the protein intake and then they'll opt for carbs. And the reason being is that a lot of carbs are very quick, very easy, and they're very palatable. So if you're having a lot of high sugary carbohydrates, which again, I wouldn't advise when you're on a fat loss diet, because you want foods that are very filling and they take away low amounts of calories, where sugary carbohydrates won't do this. Your carbohydrate goal doesn't necessarily have to be a certain percentage, but just make sure it fits in alongside your fat and your protein intake. And again, protein foods will satisfy your satiety levels more than what carbohydrates will. So you won't be looking for snacks later on in the evening, and you won't be craving things like sugary biscuits. Final point, number 5, you are still losing body fat, but you are gaining muscle. And again, this comes down to the point of jumping on the scales. So scale weight is important. We do want to see a overall trend if we're trying to lose fat and we're trying to lose weight, but you'll get to a certain point where now you don't necessarily have weight to lose, or you'll get to a point where you've been training long enough with resistance that you've built muscle. So again, the weight scale may go up or not change, and in your head you're thinking, right, I'm not on track anymore, I've hit a plateau, when in fact you actually aren't. All it means that you've built some muscle. So it means you're actually physically changing the shape of your body. But physical changes, visual changes, are hard to see because you see yourself every single day. What I would advise for this is every single week on the same day, you take a picture of your body. You compare back to that original picture every single week to see how far you've come. And I promise you, you'll be shocked to see how far you've come. The changes are huge when you do this, but you don't really notice them because on a day-to-day basis, you see yourself every day. That's why a lot of people only check their body weight, because if you jump on the scales today and it's 2 pounds down from yesterday, 2 pounds is nothing. But that's it gives you a real quick boost of excitement, and you feel happy because you see the scales going down. But again, that's not necessarily going to happen all the time, particularly if you have been gaining muscle. So this is why you should really check your images, and if you can, if something available to you, you can check your body fat percentage, then I would do that as well. But please bear in mind that body fat percentage isn't very accurate at all. It's only very accurate if you do a DEXA scan. So first of all, do your images, body fat. If you want to, you can do it, but don't get too hung up on that, okay? So that's 5 tips to help you through your fat loss plateau. I hope it's been helpful. If you're in a plateau right now, look at all those 5 points. One of them or multiple ones of them will help you. And within 1 to 2 weeks, you'll be out of this plateau and you'll be back on track. Okay, guys, hope that's helpful.